It all began with a simple, profound question. Who is my neighbor? In response, a wise teacher told a story that would echo through time. A man was traveling on a lonely, dangerous road, he began. Suddenly, thieves leaped from the rocks. They robbed him, beat him savagely, and left him broken and bleeding in the dust, completely helpless. By chance, a respected priest came down that same road. He saw the wounded man, and his face filled with alarm. But instead of stopping, he crossed to the other side, looked away, and hurried past. Soon after, another man, a Levite known for his religious duty, approached. He came even closer, looking at the injured man with a curious but detached expression. Yet he, too, made the same choice. He crossed to the far side of the road and continued on his journey. Then a third traveler appeared, a Samaritan, a man from a group that was deeply despised. When he saw the wounded man, his heart didn't see an enemy or a stranger. It saw a fellow human being in desperate need, and he was filled with compassion. He went to him. He knelt in the dust, gently cleaning his wounds with oil and wine. He tore his own cloth to make bandages, his hands tender and careful. Then he did the unthinkable. He lifted the injured man onto his own donkey, taking the weight himself. He walked beside him, offering the comfort of his presence. He brought him to a small inn, a haven of light in the growing dusk. There, he didn't just drop him off. He stayed through the night, caring for him, ensuring he was safe and comfortable. The next day, he took out his own money. He paid the innkeeper and made a promise. Look after him, and whatever more you spend, I will repay you when I return. His compassion was not a momentary feeling. It was a commitment that cost him his time, his resources, and his comfort. The teacher finished the story and turned to the man who had asked the initial question. The air was still. He asked a new, much better question. Which of these three, he asked, do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers? The answer came, quiet and certain. The one who showed him mercy. And the teacher said, you have answered correctly. Go and do likewise. And so, the meaning of neighbor, some weekends truly change everything. Imagine a Friday that feels like the end of the world, and a Sunday that brings a breathtaking new beginning. This is the story of one such weekend. It's a tale of love, loss, and a hope so powerful it couldn't be contained by death itself. It begins with a man named Jesus. For 3 years, he walked through the sun-drenched streets of ancient Jerusalem, teaching about kindness and forgiveness. He healed the sick, welcomed the outcast, and his message of love captivated thousands. But this love also threatened the powerful. One evening, he was betrayed by a friend and arrested. After a rushed trial, he was handed over to the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. Pilate found no fault in him, but fearing a riot, he gave in to the crowd's demands. Jesus was sentenced to death. He was forced to carry a heavy wooden cross through the dusty streets, surrounded by a crowd of mockers and mourners. As he was nailed to the cross, he spoke unforgettable words, "Father, forgive them." Even in his deepest agony, his heart was focused on forgiveness. After he died, his heartbroken friends laid his body in a tomb, a cave sealed with a giant stone. Saturday was a day of silence, of shattered dreams. Hope, it seemed, was buried. But early on Sunday morning, something miraculous happened. Some women who loved Jesus went to the tomb and found the stone rolled away. The tomb was empty. A figure of light, an angel, met them there and said, "Do not be afraid. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said." Jesus himself appeared to them, alive, not as a ghost, but truly, physically restored. He met his dismayed disciples, showed them his wounds, and ate with them. The one they saw die was now standing before them, full of life and love. The resurrection was God's final word. It was a declaration that love is stronger than hate, light is stronger than darkness, and life is strong. Ever tried to run from a problem? Meet Jonah. God told him to go to Nineveh, a city known for its cruelty. Jonah didn't think they deserved a warning, so he ran. He jumped on a ship going the opposite direction. But you can't outrun purpose. A monstrous storm hit. Jonah knew it was his fault. He told the terrified crew to throw him overboard. The moment he hit the water, the storm stopped. Sinking into the darkness, Jonah was swallowed by a massive whale. For 3 days in the quiet belly of the fish, he had nowhere left to hide. He finally prayed and promised to obey. The whale delivered him back to shore. This time, Jonah went to Nineveh. He delivered a simple warning: turn from your evil ways, or be destroyed. And something amazing happened. They listened. The entire city, from the greatest king to the poorest child, repented, and God, seeing their change of heart, forgave them. He showed them mercy. But Jonah was furious. He wanted justice, not mercy. He was more upset about a withered plant that gave him shade than he was about the salvation of thousands of people. And so, God asked him one simple, powerful question. You care about a plant you didn't even grow. Shouldn't I care about this great city and all the people in it? The story ends there, leaving us with that question. Who do we think doesn't deserve a second chance? Where are we running from our responsibility? This is a story about a God whose compassion is bigger than our prejudice. A reminder that mercy is for everyone, even for runaways like us. In the quiet village of Nazareth, a young woman named Mary was going about her simple life when something extraordinary happened. A heavenly messenger appeared to her, bringing news that would change everything. She would give birth to God's own son. Though confused and afraid, Mary said yes to this incredible calling. Her fiancé Joseph struggled with this news until he too received a divine message, reassuring him to stand by Mary's side. Their faith was soon tested when they had to travel to Bethlehem for a census, a difficult journey for the expectant mother. When they arrived, the town was overflowing with people, and they found shelter only in a humble stable. There, surrounded by gentle animals, Mary gave birth to Jesus, laying him in a simple manger. Meanwhile, in nearby fields, shepherds watching their flocks witnessed an amazing sight, the night sky filled with angels announcing the birth of a Savior. They hurried to the stable and found the newborn king just as the angels had said. Later, wise men from distant lands followed a special star to bring gifts to the child, honoring him as a king. But when a jealous ruler sought to harm the baby, Joseph was warned in a dream to flee to Egypt with his young family. After the danger passed, they returned to Nazareth, where Jesus grew up in a loving home. This story of humble beginnings reminds us that the greatest hope often comes in the simplest packages, and that God's love shines brightest in the most unexpected places.